Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that intro! Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. This month is Kidney Cancer Awareness Month. Now, kidney cancer is among the 10 most common cancers in men and women here in America. And some of the risk factors of it are obesity, smoking, high blood pressure, and even history of kidney cancer. And some of the symptoms include blood in your urine, which may appear to be red, pink, or even cola colored, pain in your back and side that won't go away, loss of appetite, unexplained weight loss, tiredness, and fever. And this is a kidney cancer awareness comic hero team. Besides Speech Bubble, you have the fist, and that's my encouragement to everyone that has kidney cancer who's watching this to fight. And if you can't, and if you're too tired to fight, get somebody to fight for you. And then this is a kidney cancer awareness patch, and then here's another kidney cancer awareness patch. Now, fight. And if you can't fight, and again, if you can't fight, get someone to fight for you. I don't personally know anyone who has battled kidney cancer, but just because I don't know anyone doesn't mean I can't talk about it. It doesn't mean I can't raise awareness of it. I mean, just because it doesn't happen to you doesn't mean it shouldn't matter. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, on last week's episode, I asked which black superhero was the first black superhero to debut in his own series. Now, the hints that I gave on last week's episode were, this character was created by Archie Goodwin, Roy Thomas, and John Romita Sr. in 1972. The first hint was that this character's famous catchphrase is "Sweet Christmas." And then the third and final hint, this character was played by Mike Coulter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and was on the cast of season 1 of Marvel's Jessica Jones, 2 seasons of his own series, and then also in 1 season in Marvel's The Defenders. Well, the correct answer is Luke Cage. And 12 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is James Muse from Dallas, Texas. Congratulations, James. Win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is a Joker question. True or false? The Joker was originally supposed to die in his second appearance. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. Alright, now D'Angelo Ballou from Warren, Ohio has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and this features 2 characters that can't die in 2 different publications. Representing DC, we have The Presence. And representing Marvel, we have Deadpool. These 2 are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's The Presence versus Deadpool. The Presence possesses omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, and immortality. Deadpool possesses regeneration, extended longevity, is a skilled marksman, swordsman, and hand-to-hand combatant, and possesses superhuman strength, durability, and agility. Who would win? Because the 2 already know the outcome, Presence has a fulfilled look on his face, while Deadpool is a little nervous. Because of his nervousness, Deadpool charges towards the Presence with swords, punches, and kicks, and fails to land any blows. He then unleashes his full arsenal on the Presence, but the latter is unharmed. While all this was going on, The President strips Deadpool of his healing factor. Deadpool, feeling very exhausted, takes off his mask and is shocked that his skin is no longer deformed. This angers him, and he charges towards the Presence. The latter then ends the fight by simply waving his hand and causing Deadpool to drop dead. The Presence wins, and that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, thank you D'Angelo Blue for that request. I hope you all enjoyed it. I'll have another one for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there's only one thing I'm going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and it's a promise that I made from last week's episode. I'm going to talk about Superman and Lois. Now, I watched the very first episode of it, and to explain some of the things, I would have to go back to the beginning of Crisis on Infinite Earths. At the beginning of Crisis on Infinite Earths, Superman and Lois welcome a son named Jonathan. And after that, Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, and it kind of altered a lot of things. The Supergirl universe and the Arrow universe became one. And now, and not only that, it was revealed that Lois didn't have just one child, she had twins. And of course, the other one being Jordan Kent. And one of the things I love about it is that it's pretty much a combination of the comic book, and then also and then also Smallville when you sit and you think about it. I mean, I'm talking about the TV show Smallville. Of course, Jonathan is the successful extrovert. And he was very a very skilled athlete and all that, very happy and everything. And then Jonathan, he's the one with the demons. He's the introvert, and I mean, it's been a struggle for both Superman and Lois. But then to make things even worse, Martha Kent dies, and then they end up going out to make arrangements and attend her funeral. And then it was revealed that Martha did not want Clark to sell the farm. Instead, she wanted him to save it. Now at this point, Jonathan and Jordan didn't know that Clark was Superman, but then he revealed it to them, and then they both didn't take it very well. But then they finally came to the realization that, hey, we can handle this. And then Jordan even finds out that he has powers. And then the villain in it is Lex Luthor from a parallel Earth, who on his Earth he was a soldier who lost a lot of folks in his a lot of folks that he served with, including the Sam Lane from that Earth, and they were all killed by Superman. And so he ends up going to Earth to kill. I think my thing is, I think he's going on like different Earths throughout the multiverse to kill every Superman because of what that Superman did. And I'm thinking to myself, what? That makes no sense at all. But it is what it is. But let me tell you this: I am completely sold on and all in on this series, and I know the best is yet to come. Alright, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 60. So glad this book is back. Black Panther number 23. Captain Marvel number 26. Future State Aquaman number 2. Future State Batman Superman number 2. Future State Dark Detective number 4. Future State Legion of Superheroes number 2. Future State Suicide Squad number 2. Future State Superman vs. Imperious Lex number 2. Future State Superman House of L. Generations Forged. King in Black number 2. The Magnificent Ms. Marvel number 18. New Mutants number 16. Wolverine number 10. And finally, X-Men number 18. Alright, that's 16, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 10,510. Alright, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. True or false? The Joker was originally supposed to die in his second appearance. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to James Muse from Dallas, Texas, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Alright, now next week I'm going to raise awareness of colon cancer. Now, colon cancer is yet one of the top 10 cancers among men and women here in America. I personally know some people that have fought and have lost their battles to colon cancer, and this episode next week is for y'all. Alright, and I hope that a lot of y'all are continuing to stay safe because we're still in a pandemic. Now, the good news is, you know, there's a whole bunch of vaccines that are rolling out, and I can thankfully say that as of last week, I am now fully vaccinated. And I just hope, and I encourage y'all that if you're having second thoughts about getting vaccinated, please go ahead and do so. I mean, the side effects aren't really as bad as some folks lead on to believe. I mean, it's just some very light side effects that are very temporary, and it doesn't matter which vaccine you use. I mean, whether it's Moderna, Pfizer, or what have you, go out and get vaccinated. I mean, the more people that get vaccinated, the even closer we are to making this pandemic be a thing in the past. And if y'all are living in states where y'all have been elevated to a brand new phase, here in Louisiana, as of today, we're now at phase 3. And then in Texas, I think they completely open up the state. But that's fine. But if you know that but we're still under a pandemic, and if you're uncomfortable with going out, then I encourage you to stay at home and not give a rip what anyone thinks. This is your life. This is not anyone else's. So live it. All right, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 348. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero.